Laika furiously demands to know what the hell Wang wants, and Wang attacks him without warning. He manages to push Laika back thanks to his speed. However, when Laika's sleeve is torn, Wang realizes that his knife didn't even pierce Laika's skin, it had turned to iron. Laika then transforms his hand into an axe and starts swinging it at Wang, who can only dodge. When Wang is forced into an awkward position, Laika decides to land the final blow, but Mumu takes the opportunity to slash at his back. However, Laika twists his elbow unnaturally and blocks her strike with ease. He quickly resets his arm and then kicks Wang away before charging at Mumu. Wang teleports behind him and kicks him in the face. Laika is momentarily surprised by the attack, but quickly regains control, grabs Wang's leg, spins him violently, and slams him into the wall. He then morphs his arm into a spear to impale him, but Mumu throws a knife to distract him. She positions herself behind Laika to launch a fast attack, but he anticipates her move and evades. At that moment, Wang gets up and uses his teleportation ability to overwhelm Laika with unpredictable attacks. He manages to wound Laika's face, causing the man to retreat. Realizing they had underestimated the young fighters, Mumu asks Wang if they can win if they fight together. He replies that they might survive if they try to run. He then tells the cube to use its new skill, Divine Concession, to channel the gemstone's energy into the knife. The cube warns that only 25% of the gem's energy will be transferred and that the failure rate is high. Moreover, Wang won't be able to use his abilities while the cube is enchanting the weapon. Still, he decides to proceed. Laika, seeing Wang distracted, charges at him and lands a devastating punch. Wang falls to his knees and drops the knife, but he teleports it into the dimensional room for safekeeping. Mumu tries to protect him and attacks Laika, who easily dodges her sword. Suddenly, Wang tells her to duck and attempts to kick Laika with all his strength, but it's useless. Laika grabs his leg and slams him to the ground. Mumu attacks from behind, but he intercepts her and kicks her in the stomach before throwing her into the water. Laika then turns to Wang, who is still struggling to get up, and kicks him across the room. He mocks Wang, asking why he isn't using his fancy techniques. Now those were the only good thing about him. Mumu looks on in concern, while Wang notices a floating trash bag in the sewer and tells her to run. She tries to argue, but he insists she do as he says. Suddenly, he kicks the bag at Laika, who blocks it easily, but then Mumu splashes him with dirty water. Laika demands they stop playing childish games, they won't work. Wang then throws a small stone, which Laika catches, only for it to explode in his hand. Taking advantage of the distraction, Wang and Mumu flee. The only damage Laika suffers is losing his shirt. He catches up quickly, and as he tries to grab Mumu, Wang attacks again. Laika once more seizes him and throws him down. When Mumu attacks from behind, he catches her sword with his bare hands, starts choking her, and then hurls her against the wall. Mumu loses consciousness, and Wang rises to continue the fight. He attacks Laika, who effortlessly grabs his fist and punches him hard enough to make him spit blood. Even on his knees, Wang doesn't give up and punches Laika's stone-hard abs, enraging him further. Laika throws Wang into the wall again and starts walking toward him, ready to torture him. Wang asks the cube how much longer it will take to enchant the knife, and he replies that he needs more than a minute. Wang thinks he might not last that long, and the cube agrees, saying he's suffered multiple fractures, lost a lot of blood, and needs urgent care. At that moment, Laika reaches him, grabs him by the throat, and turns his hand into iron as he tightens his grip, asking why Wang is trying so hard. He mocks him, asking if it's for money, for Mumu, or to rack up aura points and become a hero. Then, Laika transforms his other hand into an axe and asks Wang which body part he'd miss the least because that's the one he'll cut off. Wang begins to lose consciousness, and his last thought before blacking out is of his girlfriend, Yao. His body goes limp and he spits blood, which pleases Laika. But while Laika is focused on tormenting Wang, Mumu silently sneaks up behind and stabs him through the chest with her sword, delivering a critical blow. Laika drops Wang, who comes to and asks why she's there when she was supposed to run. Mumu rushes to him and says she couldn't leave him behind. However, the cube reports that Laika's body is still functioning normally despite being impaled. Wang realizes Laika isn't truly hurt and warns Mumu just in time, allowing her to dodge the old man's treacherous attacks. As Laika goes after her, Mumu blocks everything skillfully and creates distance. But then, he fires an energy blast from his palm that knocks her down. Wang is worried, but Laika tells him the girl was foolish to challenge an Order Guardian like him, enhanced with cutting-edge tech and advanced medicine. He then pulls the sword from his chest and tells Mumu that even though she failed, her attempt was commendable, so he'll kill her with her own weapon. At that moment, the cube informs Wang that the knife has been enchanted and is now a ray-grade weapon with ice elemental damage. Wang is thrilled, thinking he now has a chance to turn the tide. However, upon summoning the knife, the cube reports that the enchantment failed and the weapon will explode in 15 seconds. Wang panics as the cube tells him to discard it and get clear. But Wang gets an idea. He runs at Laika and tries to stab him, but the old man catches the knife with his hand. Laika grows angry that Wang still hasn't learned his lesson and punches him hard, sending him flying. Mumu rushes over to check on him while Laika grumbles about how stupid the two are. He pulls the knife from his hand, but just then it explodes, unleashing a massive surge of ice that freezes everything around. Seeing Laika trapped in ice, Wang feels victorious and thinks they've won, but the ice begins to crack and release steam. The cube warns that Laika's power level has surpassed 500 and is still rising. Wang realizes they're doomed if he escapes and tells Mumu to run. As they flee, the sewer begins to collapse from Laika's overwhelming energy. They reach the drainage exit, and Wang urges Mumu to escape first. She refuses to leave him, hating the idea of owing him so much, but Wang reassures her that he'll make it out on his own. Just then, Laika shatters the ice prison and charges at them with his entire body tend to steel. He yells that neither of them will live alive. Wang pushes Mumu over the edge to ensure her escape, then turns to face Laika, who rushes at him like a runaway truck. Still, Wang stands his ground, confident he still has one last chance. Laika's power level soon hits 600 as he slams into the wall, destroying the sewer in the process. Fortunately, he missed Wang, which enrages him for wasting his ultimate technique on two rookies. Furious, he vows to kill Wang and Mumu next time he sees them. Meanwhile, Mumu is swimming toward the exit, hoping Wang is safe. It turns out that Wang had teleported into the cube and stuck it to her back, hitching a ride out. He's too exhausted to move or escape the cube and ends up falling asleep, believing rest will help. And it does. After a few days, he recovers enough to return to school. Still, the events of the party and the dangers of the superhuman world weigh heavily on him. Despite risking his life, he still has no leads on Yao or Jin and wonders what to do next. Before he knows it, he's in a conference room with Mumu and her bodyguard, who hands him a card. Mumu asks why he's distracted, and Wang realizes she brought him here to talk about his superhuman ID and an upcoming competition. Overwhelmed, Wang mentally checks out for a moment. He explains this to Mumu, who tells him to take his time, but that he needs to answer now if he'll join Team Arc. Wang doesn't even know what Arc is, so Mumu presses a button to show him a high-tech training center that will prepare them for the superhuman competition. She says she chose Wang for her team, but he immediately refuses, saying he has more important things to do. Mumu already knows he wants to find his girlfriend and says she'll give him some information for free if he agrees to enter the competition with her. She reveals that Jintagai, who took Yao as the MVP of the 43rd Superhuman World competition, which grabs Wang's attention. Mumu says Jin is powerful and good at hiding, so no one can track him down alone. However, she believes that if they do well in the competition, they might find some leads. Wang decides to join her team to find his girl.